Okay, I just spent the last, I don't know, 20, 30 hours, whatever, at a charity event. Strangely enough, it was excellent. Like all charity events, it starts out, strong. It was for Mad Wargaming for Extra Life. It was Saturday, the 14th of January, 2017, and started out strong. We, everybody's playing. There's a lot of people there, As things went on and on and on, hours passed. It's a 24-hour event, so people are, they're hyped. And then, as time went on, people started to drop and drop and drop. And then by about 1 o'clock, we ended up, we're down to the diehards, the people who were there because they want to be there. And no matter what happened during the event, because we're there to play games. Ultimately, it's games. That's why we're there. We're doing it for charity, Boston Children's Hospital, and everything was, acceptable, and fun had been had. And then it, got down to the really nitty-gritty. It's getting on 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and people are starting to, what are we going to do now? We're playing games. We keep playing Frostgrave. We keep jamming rules into our head. And by 3 o'clock, we started to learn things about each other. The turns became longer because stories started to pop up. Stories about who we were, where we came from, childhood stories. I can remember stories about, our first experiences with using crafting materials like chemicals to just people, stories, crazy things, stuff that I learned about people that I game with every single week. I never would have learned if I hadn't taken an experience. But your mind steps into a vortex. You're trying to play a game, and then, someone will mention something, and then somebody will come up with something completely unrelated, and you'll get off on a tangent. And you'll go on and on and on, and you don't realize because you're so tired. You've been up, at this point, 16, 17, 18 hours straight, looking at dice, looking at rules. It's just, it gets exhausting. But that exhaustion brings out something even more special, which is the reality of being people who play games. They're all regular people. They're not geeks. They're not, anything other than, they're just people. I look at it and I say to myself, after this experience, now it's Monday at about 3:30 in the morning, and I just woke up about, I don't know, maybe 4 hours ago, and I felt I had to say this. I had to let this come out and let this feeling that I got from this last 24-hour experience from Saturday on the noon until Sunday noon. I mean, we got a really intense look at what and who people are. The Mad Wargaming Underground with Dave Valentine and his sons and his wife hosted the event, and it was extraordinary. Our group didn't really have that many people to start with, and but you have 12 people in a room, you're going to lose some people because they've got work and lives and families that they have to take care of. So you expect there's a certain drop off after a certain point. Midnight was that point. The clock struck 12, and pretty much most people. Nick Wager stayed for a little while, but that's when it got weird. We'd been playing for so long, so hard, and having so much fun. It took an odd twist. In between playing, like I said, the turns got longer, the conversations got longer. People became more susceptible to being real. More, the heck with just being the people we normally are when we play games, but the real people. They're getting tired. Their defenses are lowered. I myself am guilty of this, as were Maxie McKay and Dave Valentine and we just started talking. And like I said, this vortex, this weird thing that happened, changed me. I don't know if it did anything for them, but it changed me and how I look at people as people. I was in the military, and I was not unused to spending many hours awake. But when people are shooting bullets at you, it tends to have a different effect. But that being said, you look at things now, I do, as I stand back now, now I'm looking at like it's probably 36 whatever hours since I did it, and I'm still recovering. I'm tired, I'm lethargic, and I look at things and I say, what did we just do? We learned about each other. We made some money for charity, which was the whole point of the mission anyway. And we really, I think, bonded in a way that I don't think, I actually would not suggest it from most people. It's not the kind of thing that, it is ethereal in a way. Because by about, I would say 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, we were talking about all sorts of crazy things. All of them very important at the time. Mind you, you've got sleep-deprived people talking about things just because they could. There was no sleep deprivation because of war or any disaster. You're sitting there literally doing it because you want to help kids, to help whatever your thing is, to make it happen, to do your mission. And we did very well. Very proud of the people who stayed there till actually I'm proud of all the people who came. I mean, they volunteered the time to come and do something they love, and that's great. That's what the mission really was to get as many people in the room as we could. But then when you look at the people who stayed, the lone survivors, very proud to be part of that group, because in the end, you can't judge a person because they can't stay. If they've got a family, they have to do whatever, that's cool. You got to do what you got to do. But when you look at the amount of socialization that happened with the people that stayed, it was an experience I will treasure for a very long time, probably my whole life. I learned a lot about the people I game with as people. And ultimately, that is what our job is in this world, is to find out who we are as people. As a people. And I found out that there are strengths, weaknesses, and all sorts of things, but all of them meld into a very big pot. And this thing melts everything down into just who we are. And those that hang on to the very end, I salute you. And I'm glad to have been a part of that experience, to do exactly what we said we were going to do, because it's a lot easier to say it. Hey, I'm staying up for 24 hours, but when 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. start to rip around, and you are exhausted, and you can only drink so much coffee, you can only have so many sodas, and you can only pinch your cheeks so many times to get yourself back to where you need to be before you start to realize that you're doing something really different. I would now say that I would probably never want to do this again. It's an experience that I don't think that, it's not for everybody. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I survived it. I'm going to probably go back to bed after this. But I just wanted everyone to know that at Mad Wargaming, and I wanted to thank a few people that did come and they couldn't stay because of whatever reasons. Michael Payne, Austin Mitchell, Nick Wager, Frank Shepard, Maxim McKay, of course our hosts, Dave Valentine, his sons, Willie and DJ, and his wife Jen, and the chickens. He owns a farm, and the chickens were crowing and roostering, and it was kind of interesting it sort of kept you awake as the night went on. But I'd like to say from Creepy Hollow Restored, thank you, David, for suggesting the idea. I'm glad I went through it. I may not want to ever do 24 hours again, but anytime you want me at your table, you're welcome.